How are you guys doing? This is Ryan, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about how to survive the stock market crash due to the virus. Let's get into it. So we have seen one of the bloodiest weeks in the stock market, really in history. If you're a stock investor and you survive this week in the market, you have a story to tell your kids, your grandkids about what the market was like on this day when this event happened. We're going through a global pandemic, and it's actually the first global pandemic since AIDS. I learned that from my buddy Jmac with Jmac Investing. So yeah, it's on that level where the whole world is taken back by the serious event and the market is pricing in very different evaluations for companies, and it's happened in such a quick fashion where we're just in all-time highs, and fast forward a couple weeks, now we are in a bear market. The market is correct nearly 30%. This video is being filmed on March 13th after market is closed, and it's really something worth documenting and talking about it and discussing how can we survive it. So one of the things I really wanted to discuss was panic selling and trying to sell around the market. So you have people that are just spooked by this sell-off, that they want to get out of the market. They're seeing their money disappear on paper and it's not for them. They like buying in a market that was just going up and up and up, and unfortunately that is not this market. This market is a very volatile market. We're seeing swings up and down because the market is not exactly sure how to move. So panic selling, you really have to say, what was my time horizon for investing? Did I need that money now? Why am I selling it? Because I can see some people wanting to get in cash because they're fearful that they're gonna not have to go to work. They won't have work to go to. If your company's not allowed to move around and they're really impacted by the economic effects of this, you're gonna need cash. So the lesson there is make sure you're only investing what you can afford to invest, really, and make sure you have an emergency fund for things like this. If you're panic selling, you don't really understand what you're investing in the first place, or you didn't have confidence, or you didn't believe in the companies. Do you think the greatest companies in the world, like Apple, Microsoft, Johnson & Johnson, Tesla, all these companies, do you think they're not gonna be able to survive a pullback in the market? Do you think that people aren't gonna need to buy these products anymore? And do you think this is like the end of it all? Is it worth selling all of your stocks? Especially if you did all your homework into all this and really try to make great investments, are you just gonna throw that all out the window right now? Is that what you're willing to do? To me, that seems silly, and I think you should really evaluate what you were doing in the market anyways. And if you really had a more investor type mentality, you would say, I'm seeing amazing companies at better prices that I was willing to buy just a couple weeks ago. Don't buy things just because they're going up. Buy things because they are great companies that people will be able to use in the future, and you believe in the company structure. You look at their balance sheet, and especially during these times, having a good balance sheet is gonna really help some of these businesses survive. Companies that have a lot of debt and they're bloated and that won't be able to survive a few bad quarters, you're gonna really find out what's a good company and what is not a good company. And you're already seeing this price in the market. Some companies are only dropping about 10%, some are dropping 30, 40%. So there's a lot to learn there. Also, something really to take away from this market is trying to trade around it. I hear a lot of people that want to sell their stocks and they wanna buy in later on when the market drops further. They're tired of seeing their money fall, so if I sell here, I'll get this much cash, and then when the market goes here, I'll put my money back there. I know people that have done this well, and they are people that have been in the market for a long time. I know some very smart people that went to a majority cash position about 6 weeks ago. That's when the smart money was getting out of the market, and that same smart money got back in the market on March 12th on one of the bloodiest days of the market. So if you've already ridden this market this far down, there's not much more room, unfortunately, I think, to trade around it. The market could go lower. It could go 10% lower, 15% lower, absolutely. But if you're thinking now, the time to sell was when the euphoria was going on. If you did not sell at that time, it's probably best to ride the wave. Now, none of this is financial advice. Do what you want with your money. I am just sharing that message for anyone that cares my thoughts and opinions and what I'm doing. And do I wish I was smart enough to trade around this? Sure, but I didn't. You know, it's my first time going through a market cycle like this, and even seasoned investors that have become millionaires from this did not do this. They did not trade around the market successfully, because the buy and hold strategy is a proven methodology that'll work by great companies for many, many years. So that is one way to survive the stock market crash. I'm not trading around positions now, and I'm definitely not panic selling. I am investing more and more capital into the market the lower we go. And what I think that you will hear in a year from now is when people look back at the market prices now and the market prices in over a year from now, they're gonna say, I wish I had bought more. How many times have you looked at an investment, felt a little uncertain about it, put a little money into it, it went up, and said I should have bought more? Probably too often. So really consider this during this time. And something else I think investors should consider, this crisis is different than 2008, because in 2008 we were kind of more in a bear market overall. Stocks did not move much from 2000 to 2010, and we were more in a commodity cycle. Commodity prices were going up very high. Right now commodities are very cheap. Oil's very cheap right now, silver's very cheap, copper's cheap. We are still in a broader equity cycle right now, where if you look throughout history, and I've said this in prior videos, stocks tend to run for about 20 years, and there are minor recessions that occur during them. And I'll bring the example, after World War II and the Great Depression, stocks ran from that time to about the early 1970s, to about 1971. And then we came into a commodity cycle, where you had gold soar to historic, it went from $20 an ounce to $800 an ounce, and oil prices were sky high, and that was a 10-year bear market, and commodities performed very well. This will happen again. And then from 1980 to 2000, you had another great run in stocks. But it did come with pullbacks and recessions. Many investors talk about Black Monday in 1987, where the stock market dropped. I can't remember the exact number. I'll put it on the screen here as I'll do my research afterwards, because this is kind of a Friday night rant while I'm having a Corona and discussing a sickness that is causing the market not to do well. And then again in 1992 there was a recession during the election year. The market kind of was slowing, and it caused President H. Bush's re-election. That was another pullback in the market. But then again, stocks continued to run. So I think you really have to look at history to tell us, are we in a longer term bull market or bear market? We are in a longer term bull market. So my prediction, and this video will be on the internet, and I can go back and look at this, but this could last maybe up to 14 months is my prediction. It will likely be lower than that. We have to see the economic ramifications that occur from these companies slowing down, businesses shutting down, and how it affects companies. But overall, there will be better days, and stocks that you are selling, panic selling out of, will be at higher prices in the future, and you will have learned a very valuable lesson, and you will have had to pay for that lesson. If you stay course, you will learn a very valuable lesson, and you'll be awarded for your patience, and you can capitalize on lower stock prices today. My opinion, not financial advice, please consult with a professional, but this is what I'm doing with my money, and I'll document it on the channel here for you, so you can come back and learn from my successes or failures as I document it all. This is a genuine experience. And if you want to follow a genuine experience, make sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, hit the thumbs up button so YouTube notifies you every time I upload a video, all that blah 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 blah. But let me know down in the comment section, what are you doing? Have you gotten out of stocks? Are you scared right now? Or are you looking at stocks right now? Are you buying now, or are you waiting for it to go lower? I know a lot of people who are waiting for it to go lower. And if you are buying stocks, what are you buying right now? I'm trying to focus on just really quality companies with great balance sheets. And I talked about before, I'm trying to get, right now you're getting great starting yields, dividend yields on great companies. So my dividends this month is actually much higher than I thought. And I'm gonna do a dividends video to show you exactly how much money I made this month from dividends. And I really wanna build up that number more. I wanna make thousands and thousands of dollars a year off of dividends by investing in great companies that will pay me monthly, quarterly, biannually, however the structure to do it. But my goal is to be like my buddy with Genex, who's making about $50,000 a year in dividends. And that's pretty amazing. I think if you're struggling with these market conditions, it's really good to have a mentor and talk to someone who's been in the market for a lot longer than me. And they're out there, and they have YouTube channels, and they're giving their information. And at the end of the day, guys, this is a very educational experience for investors. And just for people, I think this is an interesting lesson to learn. We're seeing something that I've never seen before. Schools are shut down. So I'm in the chemical business, so we were actually seeing a small spike in business. We're not really happy about it. We want our clients to buy hygiene products because they're so busy they have to keep on cleaning their facility, not because everyone's panicking into a frenzy. Also, I think as business and entrepreneurs who follow this channel really have to say, how can I structure my business to weather the storm? I work with restaurants, and a lot of them are focusing on doing takeout. You know, like, how is human behavior going to change from this, and what can you do to structure your business to survive it? So you have to get very creative in how you do it, and I just wish all of you guys well and a lot of success. And please stay safe, wash your hands, all that basic stuff. Try to stay at the big crowds for a little while. From what I've learned so far, if we slow human behavior for a little while, that we can actually do a lot to prevent this virus from spreading. And the sooner that happens, it slows down. And hopefully, some people say in warmer months it'll get better, the virus will die off, or it won't travel as fast. Whatever the case is, I can't wait for it to be over. So guys, everyone, please stay safe out there. And again, thank you for supporting my channel. It means the world. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.